Providers. When we access files in PowerShell, we can use file path names such as C:/Windows/System32/ whatever name. We can also use this for aliases we've seen. We can say alias:"np" to see the np alias. We could use function:"more" to see the definition or access the storage of the more function. The reason this works is because PowerShell implements something called providers. Providers are a piece of software in PowerShell that allows the path names that we specify to be turned into the appropriate mechanism to access information stored in our system for different uses. To see a list of the providers that are currently loaded in memory, you would use the command get ps provider. Note that there's a typo on the slide. It should say ps provider, not providers. We'll see a number of different types of providers: registry, alias, environment, file system, function, variable, certificate, and WSMan for system management. There's a capabilities list there that says what we're allowed to do with these things. And there's a bunch of drive names. A different way of viewing this information would be to use get ps drive, which instead of listing it by type of provider and which drives belong to those providers, shows the drives and what providers they use, along with some additional information where it's available. These providers allow us to use the drive names to access things stored in that type of information. For example, if I wanted to see a function, I could use something like cat or ls, any command that will work with a file name, and I can tell it, look on the function drive for the object stored there, in this case a function called more, and I will see that stored on the drive. I can use that naming convention. If I wanted to see all of the registry keys stored at host key local machine, HKLM, I could use ls on HKLM:, and I will find the keys that are stored in there. You'll note that some of these things will require permissions, some do not. So we can use these kinds of path names to access these different things that are stored on our system. We can either retrieve the data, we can change the data, we can create the data. If we create a function and give it a function name with a function path name, it will know to store that in the function provider. When we created our notepad alias, we gave it an alias path name, so it knew to put it there. When we wanted to access our path variable in the environment, we used the name env::$path, telling it we want the path variable from the environment storage. So providers are an extensible mechanism that we can use to access and change all sorts of information in our system, provided we have the privilege to do so.